And they're very welcoming, and so they let people come up. I asked them, I said this for the Four Winds program, and the farmer said, "Oh, my mother volunteers in." Oh, perfect. So, go on up, take as many fossils as you want. So when I first went, I didn't really quite know what I was looking for, because they're very, very small. So we made a handout that shows some of the fossils from Panton limestone. So these were ancient plants and animals that lived in the Champlain Sea when there was an ocean where Lake Champlain is now. And the sedimentary rock, this limestone formed, was the ocean bottom, and these little critters settled to the bottom and left their impressions in these rocks. So here are some fossils. We have 4 pieces in there. In addition, we also have a little bag full of fossils that we bought that could be from anywhere in the United States. This one is a trilobite.
I don't know.
This one is a fern.
I'm going to help you because you're not
Oh, wow, beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and this one,
put it all together.
that's
really cool.
I can't quite tell what this one is. There's a lens.
Take it together.
Is that also
Put it into
fern?
one circle.
This looks like, oh yes, definitely. This is a part of a fern, and so is that.
Good job. Good. If you would like to play with Play-Doh.
We don't have illustrations of the ferns or the trilobite on here. Next year we'll have to do that. But we do have illustrations of these
See this?
2 things that you mostly find in these stones. Are these at the top, that are pictured at the top?
Looks like something. It does, yeah.
So probably for the camera I should say this. So at the top of the handout are the things that we most commonly find. And this critter that's called a crinoid, and its fossils look like little nuts and bolts. So they look like little tubes or little donuts or little nuts and bolts like that. And those were you can see part of the stalk. So really interesting little things. So you can see crinoid stems on on every piece that I collected in Panton. The other things to look for are things that look like a scallop shell. And those are called brachiopods. And sometimes they're just little tiny fragments of them. But you can definitely see sort of a seashell, scallop shell appearance to them. And then the real donuts are fossil coral, kind of a coral. And sometimes you find a snail shell, and they just make that little arching shape. And I think one of these had that in it.
How did you just pick these up, or you just
They're
laying around?
It's a big quarry, and they're massive, massive blocks of rock just sitting on the ground. And you go and sort of I look for little fragments that I could pick up and then bring back and put in a rock set, so I couldn't pick up anything that was heavy. But you can just stand by a boulder this size, and it's just covered with
My
fossils.
gosh, wow. That's amazing. Wow.
Yes. And so it's the Hatch farm. And Mr. Hatch was very welcoming and let us go up there. And also if you go up to Isle of Mott, and you can see the same kinds of fossils too. Older ones and younger ones. So that's something really, really neat. And so why are we interested in fossils? Well, fossils really can tell us what kinds of things were living a long, long, long time ago. And they can also tell us what changes happened. So if, for instance, you find a block of of sedimentary rock like this, limestone in the desert, and it's full of these sea creatures, what does that tell you about that desert?
There's been an ocean
At one time it was under the ocean. Right? So we learn a lot about the history of the geology of the earth by looking at finding things like fossils and sedimentary rocks.
Right here, right here we